Hello guys, Matt here and welcome to another episode of my top 6 fragrances. I hope you're all doing very well, by the way. Just so you all know, this idea of a top 6 video was literally just thought of a couple of minutes ago. So I've decided to come down here in my kitchen. I do apologise for my voice. I know that I have to speak quietly and it's all due to the fact that my parents are in bed and it's actually 1:30 in the morning right now, so yeah. The idea of this episode is to show you guys my top 6 retro hidden powerhouses. Now, what do I mean by powerhouse? Well, in case you guys don't know and you're new to the fragrance scene, the term powerhouse is another name for a fragrance which is pretty much strong, something very strong, pungent, lasts for a long time. And just so you know, all of the fragrances that I'm going to be bringing to you in this episode are all from the 1980s, and there's actually one from 1990. So yeah, so basically what I'm going to be giving you is my top 6, including 2 honorable mentions of retro 1980s plus 1990 hidden powerhouse fragrances. So here we go. Now, my first honourable mention comes from the house of Ted Lapidus, and this is a fragrance which I consider probably my all-time, well, one of my all-time favourite powerhouses. And the reason it's an honourable mention is because, well, I talk about it a lot, and I didn't really want to add it into the video because there are other fragrances in the list which do deserve some mentions. But the first fragrance is this one, and it is Lapidus Pour Homme. I'll just show you guys the bottle up close. This fragrance came out in 1987 and it's pretty much the perfect powerhouse. It's so strong, it lasts for about 15 hours on your skin, no joke, and this one is just absolutely beautiful. You get notes of pineapple, lavender, honey, oak moss. It's a fragrance to die for. It's absolutely gorgeous. I remember the first time smelling this and I just fell in love instantly. It's an amazing fragrance that definitely deserves a bit of praise, but the reason it is, of course, an honourable mention is because I do always talk about it. So that's my first honourable mention, and it is Lapidus Pour Homme by Ted Lapidus. My second honourable mention comes from the house of Balenciaga, and this is a fragrance that was launched in 1990, and to this day it's known as a gem or a masterpiece. I consider it both, but again, it's an honourable mention because I do always talk about it, just like Lapidus Pour Homme. And this is actually my favourite powerhouse fragrance of all time, and it is Balenciaga Pour Homme. Now, this fragrance is so unique, okay? It opens up with some beautiful cinnamon, bergamot, it's even got some bourbon vanilla in there, and believe it or not, this was actually the first fragrance ever to feature the note of oud. Basically away from the Middle East. So of course there were oud fragrances before 1990, but this was the first designer fragrance to ever feature the note of oud, which I think is pretty interesting. But apart from that, this is a beautiful scent, it smells fantastic, and it lasts all day. I get about, well, to be honest with you, when you wear this on your skin, it's there for you like 18 hours plus. Seriously, I'm not kidding, this is super strong stuff. It's an eau de toilette, but I treat it just like a eau de parfum. It's so strong. So that is my second honourable mention. It's Balenciaga Pour Homme, just a masterpiece. So let's get on with the top 6 list for hidden retro powerhouses. Here we go. Now, my number 6 on my list is Open by Roger and Gallet. Not a lot of people talk about this one. The only person that I know in my whole life who's ever owned a bottle of this is my friend Matt, Mr. Matt C. I know you like this one very much, Matt, but apart from me, of course, I think this is an amazing fragrance. It opens up with some patchouli, oak moss, vetiver. It's even got some lemon in there. It's a beautiful fragrance. It's definitely strong on the patchouli though. It's a patchouli spice bomb, if you like, but it's a sincerely beautiful fragrance. To me, smells a little bit similar to fragrances like Giorgio for Men by Giorgio Beverly Hills, but to me, this one is just so warm. It is different. It's a little bit leathery as well, but a beautiful patchouli note. I would highly recommend it, guys. So that is my number 6, and it is Open There we go. Open by Roger and Gallet. My number 5 on this list, guys, is a fragrance that also came out in 1985, and it is the original and very underrated Perlis for Men in this massive bottle, honestly. This fragrance does not get talked about whatsoever. In fact, to this day, I'm still the only person who's reviewed it. I picked this up in Marshall's, which is a store in the United States. I think I only picked it up for like $19. 150 ml though, guys. It's a massive bottle, and it smells absolutely amazing. Honestly, this one kind of reminds me of fragrances like Calvin Klein Obsession, but it has more of a zesty, tobacco-y orange smell, if that makes sense. Very, very different scent. In my review, I even mentioned that it reminds me of the inside of a English pub, so the smell of the tobacco and the booze, and yeah, it definitely does, and it's just absolutely beautiful. It's definitely got a rose note in there, so that rose and that tobacco smell, absolutely incredible. And the longevity on this is absolutely insane. I get about 10, maybe to 11 hours. You can't go wrong, guys. Seriously, it's just an amazing fragrance. Super, super nice. I'm in love with the bottle design, how we get this sort of white pearl on the top. It is plastic, of course, but it's just a really, really nice feature. The bottles, it's just massive. It really is massive. I mean, not only is it a powerhouse in terms of its smell, but it's also a powerhouse in terms of its size, you know? Incredible fragrance. I would so highly recommend you check this one out. It's so, so good. Now, I know the House of Perlis also did a fragrance called For Men, but this is the original For Men, which came out in 1985, so don't get mixed up with this version and the newer version. That is my number 5, and it is Perlis for Men. My number 4 on this list comes from the house of Revlon. Not Revlon, but another house called Revlon, which used to make fragrances, and they haven't made any fragrances for a long time. But this one has an amazing background story to it, and it's called French Line. Now I'll get the bottle out just to show you, because this is only a 5ml miniature, and the reason I do own a miniature is because it's so hard to find in big bottles. But yeah, this fragrance came out in 1984, and it's an amazing juice. This is inspired by the SS Normandy, which was one of the most beautiful ocean liners ever made. I mean, apart from the Titanic, of course, but the SS Normandy was a beautiful ship, an absolutely wondrous ship. And this fragrance is meant to captivate that ship. It's meant to captivate the beauty of it, and just the elegance overall. To me, this fragrance smells nothing like anything else, okay? This one to me smells like rose. It's even got coconut in there, believe it or not. And it smells like leather as well. So this is all about that rose and that leather combination. It's like a lipstick sort of rose smell with a very warm leather smell with a very unique twist on herbal notes. It's very, very different, but if I had to say the most beautiful note in this fragrance, I would definitely say the leather, because the leather, as soon as you put this on your skin, the leather is so fleeting, and it smells absolutely wonderful. Honestly, this is an amazing fragrance, and I cannot believe nobody talks about this. I mean, of course, it is discontinued, but wow, just wow, it's so, so amazing. So that is my number 4, guys, and it is French Line by Revlon. My number 3 is a fragrance that comes from the house of, you ready for it? Jacques Bogart. Now, as you guys know, well, in case you guys don't know really much about me, well, basically the house of Jacques Bogart are a French house which don't get mentioned a lot. They have their fair share of fragrances which do get a bit of talk, but I think they're more famous in Europe than they are in, say, the States and South America. But they're an amazing house, and they're definitely one of my favorite fragrance houses, and this is just got nothing but good things to say about this hidden retro powerhouse. And this fragrance is called Furyo. Now basically, Furyo means prisoner of war in Japanese. And this is just an amazing fragrance. It opens up with some civet. It's even got a bit of orange in there, leather, cinnamon. Ugh, absolutely beautiful. It's a very animalic scent, but it's so nice. It honestly is. It's beautiful. Definitely a rugged scent, definitely a little bit dirty, but certainly so different than anything else I've ever smelled. It's just really nice. I suppose it does get mentioned a little bit, and people do compare it on Fragrantica a little bit to fragrances like Balenciaga Pour Homme, but I do get the similarity, don't get me wrong, but this one is more rugged, dirtier, whereas Balenciaga is a little bit more green, mossy, you know, those are the differences. But to me, this is just amazing. It's so nice. This fragrance lasts for about 10 hours on my skin, no joke. And even after the 10-hour mark, it still lingers and lingers. It's magical juice. It's so nice, honestly. This is just a gem from the 1980s. 1988 this came out, by the way. And I honestly love it. So nice, guys. The bottle design is pretty awesome too. It's red, and the juice inside is like a dark red, so it just makes it look like blood. It's awesome. So guys, that is my number 3, and it is Furyo by Jacques Bogart. My number 2 is a fragrance that comes from the house of Krizia, and this is a scent which I reviewed a long time ago. And I've been meaning to pull it back out of my cabinet to wear again, and maybe even do a future review on it, and I am still thinking about doing that. And this is just an amazing fragrance, and it is called Krizia Uomo. Now this fragrance came out in 1984, and this is a very grassy, very earthy, peppery fragrance. It kind of reminds me of fragrances like Quorum, maybe a little bit like Azzaro Pour Homme. This is just a very refined fragrance. This is the newer version, by the way. I haven't smelled the vintage, but even this version is fantastic. It's just so strong, so pungent, very masculine, and very 80s, you know, and I think that's what I like about it. It's a lovely fragrance, very nice. Yeah, definitely love it. It just doesn't get talked about, you know, just like any of these fragrances really, and I think more people really do need to talk about them. I mean, even if they don't get talked about, it doesn't really bother me that much because they're unique in their own right, and for me to own them makes me feel a little bit better about it, you know. But if there are people out there who do want to check out these fragrances, then that's fantastic, because that is the whole point of this video. So that is my number 2, Krizia Uomo by Krizia. Now let's get on to my number 1, because I think you guys might be a little bit surprised with this one. Now my number 1 for retro powerhouse fragrances. Out of all of them out there, you know, to me this one is a masterpiece. This is a gem. This is a outstanding fragrance. Everything about it is outstanding. The smell, the performance. I cannot get enough of this fragrance. You know, people think of fragrances as masterpieces. You know, Kouros, yes, it's a masterpiece, don't get me wrong. Even Azzaro Pour Homme is a masterpiece. That's all fun and dandy, but they get mentioned a lot. This one doesn't. And it's quite sad, because I've only seen maybe 1 or 2 reviews for this fragrance. And I'm one of them, so that's 3 reviews overall. But this is a fragrance called Acteur. Now, if I could put this fragrance into a sentence, I would say that Acteur by Azzaro is the best rose leather combo I've ever smelled. It really is. I've never smelled a rose like this. This is not your typical rose. This is a rose covered in leather and sprinkled with masculinity. So sexy, so vintage, so 80s that there isn't any other fragrance like this out there, in my opinion. Now this is a miniature. This is about 4 ml. When I got this, it was full to the top, so as you can see, it's about 80% left, maybe 80, 75 or something. So I am really trying to save this juice as best as I can. But to me, this is just the benchmark of rose fragrances. It's musky, it's dark, it's vibrant, it's magical juice. Again, an eau de toilette, but smells like an EDP. It smells like an eau de parfum. Nothing else like it. It's just absolutely fantastic. Love it. Absolutely love it. I mean, don't get me wrong, Balenciaga Pour Homme is still my favorite powerhouse, but this is something else. This is a very different and mesmerizing fragrance, and I would highly, highly recommend you guys check this out. I mean, I would love a bigger bottle of it, but bigger bottles do go for insane prices because it is discontinued. But I am thinking about getting a few more miniatures just to add it to my collection and maybe even decant it. This scent lasts forever. I get about 16 hours out of this. What more can you ask for? An amazing fragrance. And I just want to say a big, big thank you to each and every one of you for watching this top 6 video. Thank you so much, guys. Have a wonderful night. Keep smelling good. Let me know in the comments. Bye-bye for now.